The Trump administration and the international community on Wednesday were weighing a range of bad policy options after North Korea's ballistic missile program cleared a dangerous milestone this week, leaving the White House and its allies scrambling for diplomatic and potentially military solutions to curb Pyongyang's increasingly potent nuclear capabilities. With President Trump traveling to Poland and on to Germany for the Group of 20 summit Wednesday, the sharpest U.S. response came from Nikki Haley, ambassador to the United Nations, who said the U.S. would not rule out a military response and was preparing a package of punishments for the Security Council to consider. With its Tuesday test firing of an intercontinental ballistic missile that U.S. analysts say has the potential to deliver a nuclear warhead to Alaska and U.S. allies across East Asia, Pyongyang was quickly closing off the possibility of a diplomatic solution. Mrs. Haley told an emergency meeting of the Security Council, "One of our capabilities lies with our considerable military forces. We will use them if we must, but we prefer not to have to go in that direction," she said. South Korean Defense Minister Han Min-koo warned that North Korea's continued pursuit of long-range nuclear weapons would ultimately end with the regime's self-destruction, and that U.S. and South Korean forces were coordinating closely on a response to any further provocation by the North. For Russia and China, it is perfectly clear that any attempt to justify a military decision using UN Security Council resolutions as a pretext is unacceptable, which will lead to unpredictable consequences in the region, Mr. Lavrov told reporters in Moscow. Major advance Pentagon and private analysts were still trying to pin down the capabilities of the solid-fuel two-stage Milestone-14 missile, seen as a surprisingly quick advance in the sophistication of the North's missile capabilities. A package of gifts, the deployment of the U.S. Thermal High-Altitude Area Defense (THAAD) missile defense system in South Korea, coupled with an increase in joint U.S.-South Korean military exercises, has coincided with Pyongyang's saber-rattling. Mr. Kim told state-run news outlet KCNA that his country would refuse any negotiations with the U.S. or its allies over the regime's nuclear program until Washington abandons its hostile policies toward the North. Reuters reported, "We do have confidence in our ability to defend against the limited threat, the nascent threat that is there," Captain Davis told reporters. Last month, U.S. military leaders conducted the first-ever live-fire test of the ground-based mid-course defense system. Aside from American hardware on the ground in the peninsula, joint military operations between American and South Korean ground forces continued unabated.